Hello everyone, this is Aileen Norian Gabo Pahayat, a third year BE Ed student from Nurses Shotgun. So our topic for today will be all about the curriculum implementation, focusing on the change process of each models. So here is the learning objectives of our lesson for today.
Change processes are the stages of moving from current practices to improved or new practices in order to achieve better results.
This means that change doesn't happen all at once. It goes through different stages or steps. The goal of these stages is to move from what we are currently doing, like our old ways or the current system that we use, to something better or more effective, like the new or improved ways. So the Overcoming Resistance to Change ORC model explains how people react to change, especially in education or curriculum implementation. So this model describes 4 stages that teachers usually go through when faced with a new program or innovation. So think of it like a journey, from not caring much about the change to caring deeply about how it affects others. So stage 1 is the unrelated concerns. So at this stage, teachers don't see the new program as important or connected to them. So they might not even know much about it or feel that it's not part of their responsibility. For example, a new curriculum is being introduced, but a teacher says, "Oh, that's for the senior teachers, not for me." They don't resist, they just feel it's irrelevant to them. So the developmental stage 2 is the personal concerns. Now the teacher starts thinking about how the change affects them personally. They ask, "Will I be able to handle this? Or is this new program better than what I already use? And will this make my work harder?" An example of that is a teacher worries about whether they will be trained well enough or if they can adjust to the new teaching strategy. The stage 3 is the task-related concerns. So at this stage, the teachers begin actually using the new program or method. So now they focus on how to make it work in real life. So an example, a teacher asks, "Do I have enough materials? How much time will this take? And what strategies should I use?" For the last stage is the impact-related concerns. Here, the teachers move beyond their personal or task worries. They now focus on how the change affects students or others. So they want to see if the innovation is making a positive difference. For instance, a teacher observes, "My students are more engaged with this new method. How can I make it even better for them?" The next model is the Leadership Obstacle Course model, or the LOC. This describes how leaders manage and guide people through change, especially when there are obstacles or resistance. The LOC model divides the change process into 3 key stages. First is the initiation, the planning and decision stage. So this is the starting point, where change is first introduced or planned. Ideas are discussed, new programs are proposed, and decisions are made to move forward. For example, a school decides to adopt a new digital-based curriculum. So leaders explain why it's needed, how it will help the students, and what steps will be taken. Next is the attempted implementation, or the action stage. So this is the testing or the trial stage. This is where the teachers and schools actually try out the new system. So in here, the challenges often appear, like lack of materials, confusion, resistance, or technical problems. For instance, teachers begin using tablets in their lessons, so some struggle with the new technology, while others need more training. The last stage is the incorporation, which is the integration and acceptance stage. So this is the stage where the change becomes permanent. After continuous practice and improvement, the new program or idea becomes part of the normal routine. For example, after months of use, digital lessons become the regular way of teaching in the school. Teachers are now comfortable and students benefit from the system. Next model is the linkage model. This focuses on building a strong connection or link between the innovators or the people or groups who create new ideas or solutions, which are called the resource system, and practitioners. They are the people who use or apply these ideas in real situations, and they are called the user system. So the linkage model describes change through 6 important stages, from identifying problems to evaluating results. So let's go through each one carefully. First, we have the diagnosis, or finding the problem. So this is the first step. This is where the user system, katong schools, teachers, or learners, identifies and analyzes the real problems. For instance, teachers notice that many students struggle with reading comprehension. So they clearly define the problem. How can we improve reading skills among grade 7 students? Next is search, or looking for solutions. So once the problem is clear, the schools or teachers search for possible solutions or innovations from the resource system, like kanang mga research centers or universities. For example, they explore reading programs developed by universities or educational organizations. And the next stage is the retrieval, or selecting the best option. So in this stage, the most suitable educational package or idea is chosen or gathered from the available options. An example of that is, out of several programs, teachers choose one that best fits their students' level and resources. The next stage is the fabrication of solution or adapting the idea. So in here, the chosen solution is modified or customized to fit the school's specific context, like adjusting materials, language, or strategies. Like, the reading program is rewritten to include local stories and examples that students can relate to. And for the next stage, we have dissemination or implementing the solution. So now, the adapted innovation is now introduced and used in the user system, or the teachers and students apply it in real classrooms. For example, the new reading activities are used in class and teachers track how students respond to it. And the last stage is the evaluation or assessing the results. Finally, the school evaluates the results, like checking whether the innovation solved the problem or needs further improvement. Just like, after several months, the teachers measure if students' reading comprehension scores have improved. So change succeeds when both sides communicate and collaborate, like identifying real problems, finding the right solutions, adapting them, and evaluating their effectiveness. So the last model is the Run Change Agent model. This focuses on how organizational factors and people's relationships influence the success or failure of educational change. So this model sees change as a social and organizational process, not just a technical one. So that means success depends on how people work together, how ready the organization is, and how well the innovation fits into the existing system. So the RCA model views change through the three main stages. We have the initiation, implementation, and incorporation. So let's look at each in detail. So the first stage is the initiation, the starting, the change. So this is the beginning stage. This is where the leaders and developers work to gain support and approval for the new program or innovation. For example, the curriculum developers or school leaders explain why a new program is needed. It is either to improve students' literacy and how it will work. So they inform and convince teachers, staff, and the community that the change is important and beneficial for all. So next is the implementation stage, applying and adjusting the change. So at this stage, the new program or idea is put into action. The schools and teachers start using the innovation and the organization adjusts to make it work smoothly. Just like teachers begin applying the new curriculum and administrators may reorganize schedules, training, or resources to support it. Last stage is the incorporation, integrating and sustaining the change. So in this final stage, the new program becomes a permanent part of the school system. It's no longer viewed as something new. So it becomes part of their normal operations or normal routine. For instance, after months or years of successful use, the new curriculum is now the standard teaching method. So teachers are confident, students are benefiting, and the change is accepted by all.
That's it for today's discussion. I hope you learned something. Goodbye.